Hi guys, it's Peg, and it's Sunday morning, and that means it's Sunday Snippet time. What have I been doing this week? Well, working around the house like usual. But I had a couple of projects down here. I was up early, like I do. It's 5:19 a.m. here, and I was thinking about some things that I needed to do. One of the things that I wanted to do was to create some ink pads. Now I've got my mini distress ink that I'm using upstairs, but I don't have all of the colors of that. I've got my big pads downstairs, but I've got a lot of the refills. So I thought what I would do, let's see, I just did these three. This is old paper. What I would do is fill some of these pads with some of my refills. Because I am a ink lover. I use a lot of ink in my art. And so I've got all of these refills. I'm just going to make my own because I don't know what they're charging. I think it's like $12 or something like that for a set of 4. And I can get a whole box of these. How many's in here? There's 14 pieces in here for ink pads. And I think you can even get just the small ones. I think I'm going to, these I was going to make some of those variegated ones. You've seen me do that before because you can buy these from Ranger and make your own custom blend. However, these pads are not cheap either. So I thought, well, I'll get a few pads and I'll make some custom blends because why not, right? So like on here, I can just take, let's see, we were doing old paper. So let me get a little old paper on here to start with. I'm just going to put some ink down, let it saturate. Get that out of my way. Then a dear friend had sent me some of these foam pieces, and I love these. I use them all the time, and especially for something like this, I keep them with each of my pads. I may not have gotten enough ink on this one. I may have to add a little bit more. Which one is that? Old paper? Yeah, old paper. Just add a little bit more around the edge here. There we go. I'm just going to use that tool to blend it in. And then, I've labeled the top. I've got, these are just some like Office Max or Staples or whatever your office supply is, labels. And I've cut them down in little strips to use on the top for labeling. And then I can just add my ink here. This is very wet, so I'm just going to take some tissue, rub off the excess, and there you can see I've got my old paper ink pad. And in the back of this, I will just store that pad for later use, like we do. Okay, so I'm gonna do some more colors because this is a much cheaper alternative to buying the stuff from Ranger when I've already got the refills. So here's a squeezed lemonade. Let's do a custom pad here. Let's do a little squeezed lemonade. And I think I want just a little bit more. Get that pretty well saturated. Because I want them to blend out a little bit. Okay, that was squeezed lemonade. Might as well do one of these while I'm at it, because I don't have the small one in squeezed lemonade. And I'll get another sponge pad. I'll work that around on my pad. I better label this. Okay, so there's my squeezed lemonade. Put some color on that. And I will move this and blend it out on there. Get my paper, clean off the excess. There's my squeezed lemonade for that. Whoops. Got to remember to put this back into the back so it's good to use. And I'll move on to the next color. And what do I want to use with my squeezed lemonade? I think I'm going to use Twisted Citron, because I don't have one of those either. So let me get some Twisted Citron. Boy, that looks really dark green, doesn't it? Huh. It looks darker than I remember. I'm getting it all over me. Let's see. Suppose I should bring up the chat here. See if I can see it. I want to do, let's see. There we go. Sunday Snippet Live. Hey, Susan. Hi. Yeah, sorry, I didn't have the chat up. For some reason, it wasn't coming in very well. So I'm looking at it now. So I've got the live chat going. Okay. So, and that's fine. You know, you don't have to do a lot of chatter. A lot of times I just watch stuff while I'm waking up, get my day going. So this is the Twisted Citron. And I'm going to add a little bit of that to this mix over here too. I did put a link in the description for these particular pads, if you're interested in getting any of them, I'm going to look and see if I can get some more of the small ones without the big ones, because I want to make some more little ones. But didn't really want to spend the money on the ones from Ranger. I was trying to be frugal. Yeah, me frugal. Good job. Okay, so there's my green. Hi, Mica. Let's see. This is Twisted Citron. And so I will add some color to the top so I know what that is. Dry it down a little bit with some tissue. Flip it over and add my sponge tool. And there we go. Okay. So I've got 2 more of these, and then I'm going to work on something else. So what other color do I want to add to this blend? Let's do cracked pistachio, maybe? Or no, the Mariner? No. Maybe peacock feathers. Peacock feathers. Yeah. I don't think I have a peacock feather over here, which means I need to make a small one. So let me get a tag for this. Peacock feathers. And we'll put some ink on that. Let that soak in a little bit while we do this pad. I think I might leave it for one more color on there. And I'll get one more of my blenders. Make sure that gets into the pad. And I'll transfer some color onto the lid label. Make sure this gets into my pad over here. And I can clean that off and add it to this tray. And oops, I forgot my ink pad here. And I think the one other color I want to add, that big one, is that Ancient Mariner. I really love this color. You guys gotten this one yet? Yeah, I got them off Amazon. I don't know. Because I have all these ink refills and I didn't want to buy all these little ones. That's what I thought I'll just order some pads so that these other colors, these are the ones that I had that I was using more often. Lots of blues and browns and, But I still had all these other colors because in my big pads down here in the basement, I've got these, but these small ones I can use at my desk upstairs. So I thought, well, I'm just going to fill them with the ink refills that I've already got. So that's that Mariner, Ancient Mariner. Really gorgeous, gorgeous blue. To me, it looks almost like a, what do they call that? Payne's Gray. Yeah. Reminds me of a gorgeous Payne's Gray. Yeah, I'm making custom colors. That's what this one is a blend. Because remember, I made these blends on those ones that I gotten out of Ranger ink. But I've got these other pads, so I thought, well, I'll do this too. So see what we get here. So this one is, oh, Uncharted, not Ancient. Excuse me. Ooh. Uncharted. I do have that right. Mariner. All right, Uncharted Mariner. And I've got ink on here. I can blend out this ink on here. And clean off the excess. Love this blue. And we'll put the sponge back in there. So you can see this is not a difficult process, and I'm getting lots of ink pads out of it. Now this, let's see, what have I got? Let me just get a stamp. And we'll ink this stamp and see what this looks like on here. This is not the best paper to stamp on. This is watercolor offcuts. But I'm gonna ink this up. Pretty juicy. It's pretty juicy. And this stamp doesn't look like it's been stamped before, so it's not taken real well on the stamp. I probably should have put some archival on it first, or something that'll make the ink stick. If you guys know that trick, if you use some archival or oil-based ink on your stamp first time around, for some reason it accepts other ink better. It doesn't bead up as much. So I learned that from Tim Holtz a long time ago. So let's try that again. See if I can get this to not bead up so much on here. We'll see. See what we get. Yeah, it's still pretty juicy. It's got to settle in, but it's a nice blend. It's a nice blend of colors. Let me see if I can get there's some ink down in there. I think I got on my first application. Try this again. Still not working the best. That was the second stamping with that inking. But it's a custom color blend, right? See, that's ink is still sitting on top of that paper, and that should It's watercolor. It should be sinking in. I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, that's my custom blend. So I can get that out of here. So I'm going to have to order some more small ones because I still have a number of these colors that I want to do ink pads for to take upstairs. But I already had the tin. I already had the, all this other stuff. And I thought, well, I'll just make some pads. So the other thing I was going to do, you guys watch Lindsay Wyrick? I just got them on Amazon, Mica. I put the link in the description box if you're interested. And you're overseas, so you're probably going to have to look for the same kind of thing overseas because that was the U.S. Amazon. But it'll give you an idea of what to look for because the link is there for the U.S. one. Okay, so I've got some distilled water here. And the reason I'm going to use distilled water is because I'm going to make some watercolor paint. And I'm using gum arabic. And sometimes when you're using gum arabic and water out of the tap, it gets funky. So I've had this for a long time. This is from US Art Quest. And it's a powder. You can also get gum arabic already in a liquid form. I don't have that. But what it tells you is that when you're mixing this, it's 1 part gum arabic to 4 parts of pigment. And Lindsay was mixing up different mica pigments and things. And I thought, I've got some of these Pearl X pigments. This is an interference red from Jacquard. And this one is Duo green yellow. And I thought, well, these would be kind of interesting watercolors. So what I'm going to do is mix these. And I've got some cups here. And I've got some pipettes. Although that one looks dirty already. Excuse me. The reason I'm up is the salad I had for dinner last night was not agreeing with me, and it's still not agreeing with me. So it's like, it's a salad. What is, they put so much stuff on our food anymore. I have the feeling it had some freshen or something on it because I can't eat that stuff. So anyway, so I've got some little popsicle sticks, right? And I'm just going to take one little dipper of this gum arabic in here, one little dipper of gum arabic in here. And then I'm going to take 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts of that one, and then I want 4 parts of the Duo in this other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a pinch. That wasn't a very big one. There we go. Okay, so I've got my powders. I've had these forever. This, okay, I don't even know what they go for now. Stamperation. Don't even know. And it was half price when I got it. That's why it's got the red line through it. So it's done me a good service. I've had it for years. And the nice thing about the mica powders is that you can store these. They're not going to go bad because it's a powder. And you can mix it up when you want it. Okay, so now I'm going to add some water to these. and mix some watercolor. Oop. And I thought I had some half pans or something around. I don't have any of those, but I do have a palette here. So I can just take a Sharpie on here, and I can call this interference. Where do I want to mark that? Interference red. And then over here, I will put my duo. And what duo was that? That was duo green yellow. Okay. So I want to make sure I get the clumps out. Get this mixed up really well. Make sure that gum arabic gets mixed in. And what I'll do is I'll let this dry down to make my watercolor. So let me add some water to this one. And if you're interested in Lindsay, go look at Lindsay Wyrick. She is the Frugal Crafter, and she was making all kinds of stuff. She had just gotten all kinds of mica, and you can do this with, cheap mica eyeshadow and all that kind of stuff too. I've done that before too, where I've made my eyeshadow watercolors with. You want to look for mica in the ingredients. So, okay, there's the green splashing out on me. So let me add this to my pan. I can wash my mixing cups out and reuse them. My duo green yellow, and this is the interference red. So I'll just let those dry down and make watercolor. But the way these show up the best, like you can use these on watercolor paper, but they do not show up that well. Get a watercolor brush here. Just need a little one. I don't need a great big one. Oh well, I'll use what I have here. So if you're doing interference red, it's not going to show up a great deal on a white. It's just going to look a little bit pinkish. Now, if you're putting it over other colors, it's going to show up more. But where you're going to see it is if you're using it on black. You guys see that? And that's the interference. And you can see the red tone kind of popping out on that. Okay. Have a good breakfast or dinner or whatever you're doing in the kitchen. Okay, so here's the duo green yellow. And on white, it's going to show up with just kind of a pastel green, not a whole lot of anything. You guys see that okay on the white? Not a lot of anything. But on here, if I'm using this duo yellow green on the black is going to show. So look in your stash. Think about all the things that we've got just sitting around that can be utilized in another way. There's the green, yellow, and the interference red. And, the distress mini inks. These are just, oops, and then I hit that thing and made a mess. Such a klutz. I should never do a live show. I need bloopers. I really need bloopers because I've got a lot of these outtake kind of things, I'll tell you. So maybe I'll just spread it out and use this for something else. Because I can, right? So that's about all I'm working on this morning, guys. I hear my husband is getting up upstairs. I'm going to let this dry down. I'm going to work on getting some more pads so that I can do some more colors of those. I hope you're having a crafty week and doing something productive. I'm still working on home repairs and stuff too. So, I'm still painting cupboards. Yeah, it is kind of amazing, isn't it? I mean, that on black, that red, it doesn't show up on the camera as much as it shows in real life. It's a real pinkish red here. And maybe as it dries down, it'll change a little bit. But certainly different from the black. And you do get that iridescent shimmer. So like if you want this for die cutting or something like that, this would be really pretty die cut in different shapes. Okay, so that's my Sunday snippet for today. And I will see you again soon. Love you. Bye, guys. Thanks, Susan.